Our top story this half hour, controversy over Albuquerque's mayor's budget proposal.
And it's all about how big some workers' raises are while others are quite small. The mayor's budget has most city workers getting just a 1% pay raise, and some of the mayor's high-level staff getting raises of more than 20%.
That's why I thought this was so insulting to the employees, because there was no raises but for 1% this year.
Well, now some Democrats on the council want to get rid of the money the mayor wants for those big raises. Instead, Councilor Dan Lewis has a budget with a 3% pay raise for city workers. The mayor's office didn't want to talk about this right now, saying it wants to see a final budget from the city council. First will be at a meeting tonight that's talking about this. We'll let you know what happens. Well, helping homeless teens or keeping people happy. That is a debate going on right now in one neighborhood in northeast Albuquerque. Bernalillo County leased a house to KRQE. It's this house. It's a transitional home for homeless teens who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender. The home has had a lot of problems in the past, and now some neighbors are worried the teens could create more problems for the area.
Is there going to be someone 24 hours that's going to be there constantly, a counselor? Have these kids had a background?
The answer to that question is yes. The organization says there would be a representative there all the time. However, there are others in the neighborhood who support the home, and KRQE says it is needed, especially with about 10,000 homeless kids in the area.
We've had children who've called us that are looking for a place to stay. We've had parents who don't want to continue to house their gay child and want to know if we'll take their kid.
The home is set to take in 14 to 18-year-olds. It should be open in the next couple of months. Some overnight news for you at 5:34 as Albuquerque police are still looking for someone who they think is armed and trying to steal cars. About 9 last night, an officer stopped the stolen car near Central and Carlisle. This is in a Nob Hill area. While waiting for other officers, investigators say the driver took off running. Police blocked off a large section of the neighborhood here. They called in a K-9. They had a helicopter out there too, but they could not find that person. Well, this morning a teen in Artesia is facing charges for what police say he did to a kid less than half his age.
Yeah, police say a 14-year-old attacked a 6-year-old. According to a police report, an 8th grader who attends Park Junior High School allegedly hit a 1st grader because he thought the younger kid was trying to trip him. The 6-year-old suffered minor injuries to his face, including scratches and visible red marks.
It's scary because he's probably twice his size and 3 times older than he is.
The superintendent told News 13 that the situation is being taken care of, but did not provide details. Police did arrest and charge the older student with battery. 2 men are taking on 2 Albuquerque Catholic churches and the Archdiocese.
They say when they were boys, priests raped them, and they say the church covered up the abuse and let other kids get abused for decades.
We're saying they knew or should have known what was going on, done something to stop it sooner.
The lawsuit specifically names Queen of Heaven and Our Lady of Guadalupe parishes here in Albuquerque. The 2 men say they were raped there in the 60s and the 80s, and they say the Archdiocese knew boys were at risk but did nothing to prevent the abuse. The attorney, Brad Hall here, hopes the lawsuit is going to go after the bigger picture.
It's not about him. The case is about the Archdiocese and the church and the culture.
In all, the suit names 40 priests from the Archdiocese of Santa Fe and says the Archdiocese knew these priests, 40 of them, had a history of sexually abusing kids but covered it up by transferring the priests to different parishes when people started asking questions. Since the mid-90s, the Archdiocese has settled more than 100 cases of sex abuse involving priests in this state.
A state police officer caught on cell phone video grabbing a repo man by the neck is no longer on the job this morning.
You need to let him go, Charles.
Taking my vehicle let it go.
All right, New Mexico State Police Officer Charles Vernier resigned yesterday. The video was taken nearly 2 weeks ago in Los Lunas. Vernier gets the repo man who was trying to repossess Vernier's SUV in a chokehold. Vernier lets the man go after cops show up and pull out a taser. Vernier was arrested for trying to run from officers. At the time of the incident, we have learned that the state police officer was already on paid suspension from the state police department. News sources tell us that the department was in the process of investigating whether he was mentally competent to even be an officer. New information this morning on the New Mexico officer involved in a shooting that left a Las Vegas man dead. State police have released the names of the officers involved in the shooting. Officers Anthony Robinson and Jonathan Wright were called to a mobile home last Thursday when someone called 911 saying 48-year-old Arsenio Lujan was suicidal. Officers say they tried talking Lujan down, but shot and killed him instead when they say he pointed a rifle at them. Lujan died at the scene. Officer Robinson has been with the state police for a year, and Wright has been with the department for 3 years.
The trial for the woman accused of stealing a scrapbook from the Tijeras Senior Center is expected to start today. Back in February, the village's mayor banned Floyd Watson and Doris Lark from the Senior Center, accusing them of stealing scrapbooks. These two women, both of them are in their 70s, say that is simply not true. And Doris Lark insists she created the scrapbooks and paid for them with her own money. She and Floyd Watson were fighting the larceny charges late last month when Watson passed away. I'll let you know what happens in the trial today. It's a really sad story all the way around.
Yeah, it really is.